And when I was in a car accident, I got a real bad concussion, and I just met my wife. She'd been with me about 2 months at that point. That was in March. And I couldn't really do much. With the concussion, I couldn't think. I couldn't talk on the phone. I couldn't even look at the computer. She was trying to do everything for me. I couldn't even talk on the phone. I would just get immediate anxiety and headache. Like it was the ringing, anything like that really bothered me.
Screens and sounds were he was really sensitive to
Yeah, it
it.
was really hard, and I'm still recovering from that. And what I found is I can't be in this position ever again. And she literally says, everybody's taking advantage of you. She goes, they're paying you, but look, they're taking advantage of you. And I sat there on the Memorial Day weekend and I had a nervous breakdown. And this was about 3 months in, and she was right. So she changed my life. And what I decided to is I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I said, I'm going to wrap up all the construction jobs I got for everybody that I have. And I said, I'm going to become my own investor. And I says, I know I'm smart, and I have to figure out how to be, in 10 different places, with, other people, and show up all over the place with half the effort, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I decided with her that we were going to build our luxury brand, and that we were going to replace ourselves permanently in the business. And so what we did was at the time, I was telling you, I've got my people in Kansas City. I'm doing everything in Las Vegas. What we did is we basically have worked for the last 8 months, something like that. Literally, I've taken one day off. I even work Christmas, and I work Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day. And I told her, I said, I'm not stopping and I'm not taking a day off until I get what I want. And last week, we finally reached that point where I was like, what am I going to do this week? Like, everything's getting organized. And she's on the tail end because she does the design. And I said, okay, it's time to replace ourselves now, because we've built up the inventory. We've built up the systems. We've built up the employees, the contractors, the money, the everything. And so I actually went to a team, what was it, last Friday I called, and I've had them pegged, and they're a team of 10 realtors. And we cut a deal with them this week, and they're starting on Monday, and we're actually going to put people in all of our positions in our real estate in Las Vegas, and I'm actually stepping out.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is now I need to have a COO or CEO, COO, CFO, VP, and then I have to have all the different positions, because I need them to be able to manage anything at any certain time. So we're replacing every single position. We've got 5 people. I call it my execution team now. My execution team will be with me anywhere I go and anything I do. We'll travel together. We'll go to events together. If I'm on vacation, they'll be with me. And basically, we're going to constantly be cultivating new ideas for the business with the execution team. And the 10 people that we're replacing or the 10 people that we're working with are going to replace our current team. And I'm going to elevate the people that started with me. And we're going to be doing many different businesses and being on top of it. So in this whole thing, my thing is you've heard about, the what is it, 3-hour work week or the
4-hour work week?
4-hour week. So you've heard about the 4-hour work week. I always said it never existed, and I didn't believe that concept, and I finally have faith in that now. And the whole goal for us is I'm actually going to just focus on social media, 3 hours one day and a couple hours on the business. On Wednesdays, I plan to work 5 hours a day. And if I don't want to work anymore, I'm going to be 40 years old, 2 more months, July 16th. And at that point in my career, I want to hold $100 million worth of assets. And the reason why I grew this to $100 million worth of assets is so that I could afford to have the people, have the infrastructure, and know that I had enough profits coming in order to afford it and to live that lifestyle. So I had to get 10 times what I had going before, because I knew what I made at that margin. I had to 10x that in order to live the lifestyle and pay those people. So we're literally, I think we're going to probably be 6 weeks. We're hoping to have that put in place.
So you mentioned that people were taking advantage of you, and I've been told this of me myself, right? And I have people tell me multiple times, like, Steve, they're just taking advantage of you. And I ignore them, right, for the most part. Turns out they were right. So let me ask you, what were some things that were happening that where they were taking advantage of you, for someone else, to kind of recognize that?
So I'll let her. What is my famous thing that always happened to me?
Well, I think he has a hard time saying no. He always says yes to work. And anything anyone asks him when it's work related, for sure, he always says yes. And I think he had such a hunger in him and so much fight in him for so long to like, oh, I have to grow the business. I have to do this. So he never said no. And he's just saying yes to everyone. And you have all these people that are like all these investors, and it's not like he doesn't know everything they don't know. He knows even more than them. And he's getting yelled at because of nonsense, and he's doing great work for them faster than anybody else in Las Vegas was doing. And they're getting amazing returns when they sell their houses. And he was the one that quite often is the one designing the house, actually. And it was, to me, it just was like obvious. Why are you doing this? Why aren't you using your construction machine for yourself, just yourself? I was an investor that hired him, actually, and I know the quality of his work is amazing. So
So the biggest thing is it went two ways when you started this podcast. You said, I'm a contractor, and why am I making these people rich?
Yes.
And then the investor goes, why am I a contractor? I should do that because they're making money on me, right? And the biggest thing for me is what I found is they always had, in my business, investors always had a gun to my head because they knew that they had me, cornered because I only worked for them. I was loyal to them and everything else. And they would get to the point where, they'd threaten, well, I'll do this, I'll go do this, and I'll do that. So I would constantly get taken advantage of by giving in, right? Well, they're a good customer, give them a discount. Well, they'll do this. And when they're turning around, when I gave, I wasn't getting the giving back.
Yeah.
And that's when I really realized that I was getting taken advantage of. And exactly the biggest thing where I was getting taken advantage of is I did a TikTok video and an Instagram video on the power of saying no. And if you can't say no, you have no power. That's my saying. If you can't say no, you have no power. So if you say yes to everything, like me, I used to say yes to everything, that's where I would lose. So the biggest thing is whether you're investor or contractor is you actually need to change your mindset, because it's not good for either party to feel that way. And I hate seeing relationships with contractors and investors, because the constant thing I see is very rare do they last together for very long.
Right.
And the fact that they don't last together for very long shows that both sides are wrong. This is a big thing. Both sides are wrong. So if you're the investor and you're not keeping your contractors, you need to do your business differently, in my opinion, and you need to make a win-win on both sides, and then they won't feel that way. And and really, I don't even feel good taking advantage of people. These people would literally do it to me, and they would laugh, and I would hear things. And when I got in my car accident, that's when the real people stuck with me, and when the other people didn't. And there's a few people that stuck it to me, and I'm like, okay, do it. I'll never do another deal with you. Yeah. And to this day, I will never do that.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, it's just how short-sighted, these decisions that are made.
Yep.
Yeah, like you might make some more money on this situation here, but in the long run, it doesn't help.
Yeah, I mean, I had one customer, the Boakleys. They're really good friends of mine. You were on a live with them yesterday. And literally at one point in my accident, they had a house they had one in Red Rock Country Club, and they had one in Anthem Country Club. It sat for 3 months. They're cranking interest away on it. They're like, we got to get this done. Where are you? I'm like, I'm trying. Everything's behind because I got in an accident and nobody was there to run the company, and I can't really work, right? And they were super good to me. And fortunately, the market was going up. I think they made probably another 100 or 150,000 more on each house. So at the end, it wasn't so bad. But in the normal market condition, it would have been a bad situation. But the big thing they said is, we've been working together for 10 years. If this is all that's ever happened, we're going to stick by your side.
Yeah.